What is happening, most amazing family, and welcome back. I'm your host Taylor McWaters, and we're here with a part 2. You wanted more forbidden places? More you shall get. Let's do it. But before we explore some of those haunting hotspots, we have a quick word from our sponsor, G2A. As soon as it starts to get cold outside, I get excited because that means now I can stay home, bundle up, and just game out for days at a time with a blanket on. No one knows that I'm there. And with G2A, I can beat all the hottest titles without breaking the bank. Thank you. G2A offers discounts on video games, gaming consoles, subscriptions, gaming cards, new releases, and so much more. Seriously, some of these discounts reach up to 90% off, which is great because it's just in time for the holidays. Again, saving money. Guys, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and don't miss out on this week's sales. Thank you. Now back to the list. Number 10, SURTSEY Island. On part 1 of this list, we mentioned the global seed vaults. Well, for part 2, we need to mention the island where seeds are forbidden. In fact, any human activity is forbidden. This island is also pretty new. It was born from a volcanic eruption back in 1963, and scientists are using the fresh face of land to study what it looks like to, well, not have a Starbucks. They're studying ecosystems without any human interference, which I think is really creepy, but also quite interesting. Scientists studying the land here have to just follow one rule, and that rule is no seeds. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Like, obviously. One time, a scientist had to go number 2, and in turn, he accidentally grew a tomato plant. He pooped a tomato plant out. Not really, there was a seed somewhere in there. That would be painful. They acted fast and got rid of the plant in order to not interfere with their study, but like, what a weird job. Guy can't even take a shit at work. How stressful is that? Number 9, the Forbidden City. Built all the way back in 1420, around the time of the Ming Dynasty, the Forbidden City is said to be extremely haunted, aside from being the largest ancient palatial structure on the planet. Located in Beijing, China, it's one of the 5 most important palaces in the world. It was the Imperial Palace of China from 1420 to 1912. More than 24 emperors lived here in this massive city that took 1 million workers 14 years to build. Inside the city, there's around 980 buildings, and there's roughly 8,000 rooms. It's a lot of rooms to haunt, really. Ghost paradise. It was declared a World Heritage Site in 1987, but come 2000, a Starbucks was built on the land. Yeah, the classic, look at how beautiful this landmark is, let's open up a gift shop scenario. By time 2007 came along, there was enough outrage to get officials to close said Starbucks. No more venti lattes for you, Sarah. Sorry. Number 8, the Gates of Guinea. Or He Gates of Guinea, as I wrote. The souls of the dead have to go somewhere, and depending on your beliefs, that somewhere could be either really beautiful and peaceful, or absolutely terrifying. In the world of voodoo, that place is an underworld called the Gates of Guinea. And here's the front door. Come on in. Awesome, take your shoes off. Located in Louisiana, this tomb, that of voodoo priestess Marie Laveau, is apparently the entrance to these deep waters, this twilight realm. And some voodoo followers try and open these gates to access the souls of the deep. Don't play Pokemon Go here. Do not. You don't want to do that. Leave the Poliwag at home, okay? He's a trap. You don't need him. Number 7, Mount OSORE. Mount OSORE is not the name of just one singular mountain, but instead it's an entire mountainous range. Translating to Mount Fear. Cool. This area is known as the entrance to the afterlife because it features all the geographical elements that are similar to the Japanese Buddhist descriptions of paradise and hell. So not only is this area home to 8 symbolic mountain tops, but also a lake with acidic water that only one species of fish can survive in. We got acid fish. Come on in, grab a canoe. There's also nothing but bear pits full of vipers. Not an ideal spot to take your family camping, that's for sure. Beyond this mountain range, there's even a river that's known as the border between earth and hell. This is where each and every soul must cross in order to reach the afterlife. If I'm somehow selling you on this idea and you want to take a trip up to Viper Lane, when you get there you'd find statues and offerings along the banks of this river, which are intended to help the past souls find their way during this journey, because it's definitely not good if the souls get lost, because you don't want to even know where you end up. Getting lost in a journey to the afterlife? No, man, keep me on track. Waze. Thank you. Every year from July 22nd to 24th, those wanting to communicate with the dead will head to this temple located here to speak with spiritual mediums known as the Itako. So if you're feeling like spicing up your weekend, go gamble with souls of the dead. Have fun. Text us when you get there. And back. Number 6, Ghost City. Fengdu is located in China, and it's often referred to as the City of Ghosts. For a long time, it was believed that this is where the dead stop by on their way to the afterlife, and it is here where they must pass 3 tests in order to get there. 3 tests. It's a lot of tests right after you die. The first one is for the newly departed souls who must cross over the bridge of helplessness. Sounds like a good bridge, better than the bridge to Terabithia, which is meant to judge their virtue. Okay, so there's demons here who judge whether the soul is good or bad, and the ones who are good can pass while the bad ones are pushed into the water below. Imagine a demon pushing you into the water. It's worse than getting pushed in at a pool party. The ones who pass that first test go on to the ghost torturing pass, where they stand in front of the ruler of the underworld. If they pass that judgment test, then the third and final trial takes place at the Tianzi Palace, where they will stand on a certain stone for 1 minute, also on one leg. For 3 minutes they have to do this. This is where hot yoga comes in handy. Only a good soul can do this, apparently. If you lose your balance, like I just did back there, maybe you're not wearing your minimal runners and you're wearing Timbs, or maybe you're just condemned to hell. Either one. Fengdu also has many temples and shrines which hold paintings and sculptures that represent people in the underworld. So go take a look at the oldest, awfulest selfie on the planet, that's for sure. Go take a look at some old demon art, have fun. Number 5, HOUSKA Castle. Located north of Prague in the Czech Republic, HOUSKA Castle is supposedly built over a bottomless hole that leads directly to, you guessed it, hell. Legend says the 13th century king Ottokar II offered a pardon to any prisoner who was willing to get lowered into this hole and live to talk about it. What a deal. The first prisoner, when they were lowered into that pit, they only lasted 30 seconds before they started screaming. Legend has it that when he was brought back up, his hair turned white and he'd aged a great amount. That's a lot of stress in 30 seconds. What he saw, however, was also pretty intense, and it kind of explains it. He saw these half-human, half-demon type creatures flying around with scaly wings. Awesome, that's terrifying. The castle was built over the hole without a water source because it wasn't initially meant to be used by humans. Instead, it was only built for demons, should they rise from the mysterious hole. That way they can get out. God love these demons, you know? You don't want them trapped there for too long. It's a lot of noise, a lot of complaints. A lot of pollution. Number 4, NIIHAU Island. Located in Hawaii, this island has not yet turned into a resort either. What do you know? In fact, the population of this island is a whopping 170. Also referred to as the Forbidden Island. It was bought back in 1864 by Elizabeth Sinclair, and it's been privately owned since. Hence the small population. Thing is, in 1952, the polio epidemic hit these islands and a ban was then put in place. So now you couldn't leave nor enter the island. Nobody got sick, which is great, but now if you want to enter this island, you need to gain special access, which is a lot harder than it may seem. Even if you're rich, even if you're loaded, you can't just buy your way onto the island, so for now we'll just zoom in on Google Earth. Bird's eye view for the win. It's a nice island. It's like a moon shape. It's good. Number 3, Island Moor, Scotland. What better island to visit than one with nobody on it? Gonna be pretty quiet. In the early 1900s, a ship was heading to the Flannan Islands, completely uninhabited, but on the ship we had Captain James Harvey and Joseph Moore. They were heading there to watch the lighthouse, but upon arrival, nobody greeted them. He blew his horn, waited, still nobody. That's when you gotta text them, be like, hey, I'm here, come down the thousands of steps, thanks. The replacement lighthouse keeper rowed to shore and started walking up the steep set of stairs towards the lighthouse, but when he got there, he realized the door was unlocked, and 2 of the 3 coats were missing. Upon further investigation, he saw the half-eaten food, a chair that had been tossed over, and the kitchen clock had stopped. No sign of the keepers. When checking the lighthouse log, the previous days were odd. December 12th, the second assistant Thomas Marshall wrote, severe winds, the likes of which I have never seen before in 20 years. James was awfully quiet, and William, the third lad, was crying the whole time. Sinister vibes for sure. That's like the movie The Lighthouse in real life. That's a hard no for me, never going to this island. Next. Number 2, Poveglia Island, Italy. The small island of Poveglia has taken many, many lives. When the bubonic plague arrived in 1348, the island became a quarantine colony. So if you had symptoms, you were just sent to this island to die. How horrible is that? Then again in 1630, the Black Death crept in, and then once again the center of this island became a mass graveyard. In the 1800s, the mentally ill were sent to this island because an asylum was built. The rumor was that in the 1930s, this doctor tried crazy experiments on these patients, and then he himself went crazy and then jumped from the tall bell tower. Although the tower doesn't stand anymore, his screams apparently are still heard by locals. The soil is 50% human remains as well, so if you're looking to plant some haunted aloe vera, well, there you go. And finally, number 1, Fort Knox. Located in Kentucky, USA, this place really is the jackpot. The most heavily guarded place on the planet, and it's not an Egyptian pyramid. Odd. The amount of gold in here might actually be a lot more than ancient pharaohs, to be fair, so listen up. Fort Knox is home to a large amount of the United States gold reserves. Thing is, even if you work here, you're still not getting into Harry Potter's vault of treasures. Each staff member only knows part of the combination to get in, so you can't just heist your way out of lunch one day. Rumor has it there's apparently no gold in here, but instead they're studying an extraterrestrial. Another rumor is that the United States actually sold off all the gold ages ago and they just don't want anybody to know. I weirdly vote the latter. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Those were just 10 more photos recovered from forbidden places. Again, if a part 3 is in your deepest desires, let us know in the comments down below. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters, and we'll see you next time on Most Amazing Top 10. Bye. He acted fast. Oh no, he didn't act fast. That'd be gross. He's like, don't tell anyone. Yeah, man, like there's so many seeds, like, I don't know. I'm gonna start checking my and be like, are there seeds? Am I planting some plant that I don't know about? Palatial. Palatial. We're learning words today. That place, I'm stupid. In the word, who wrote this? Clown. There it is. Ignore the rest. I suck. I'm a millennial. I'm in a fucking wind tunnel? That's loud.
Yeah, it's loud right now.
I can see it on the thing. It's like, go away, ghost. Piss off. Yeah, okay, maybe they won't hear it.